Uncle Tommy was a fool when dead. That shit was so out of pocket, so twisted, and menacingly hazardous it wasn't even funny. It's like throwing out a fire hydrant. A fucking Slim Jim come to life like a zombie saying, "I'm alive, motherfucker." I'm telling you, I've gone through everything. He was getting corrected by Lisa. His pop and breathe didn't work all the way to his color. All the way to a point where he yells at his children. This guy drove me to hell. We came to basketball when we were both working hard to make sure I didn't make the shot. After making it twice, you see the reason why I'm starting off this video with semi-dominance is because I know you have to have maturity to be an actor. In other words, you have to be above it in some way, shape, or form instead of just going off. That was the whole deal. I put you as Steven's American Dad, so it has to do something with the Academy. Meaning we should be with producers dancing in the studio and be putting two together. Now my goal in the hood was to literally be one of the dancers like Todoroki, Bakugo, etc. I ended up doing interpretive dance all the way to the point where I made a skirt. Please don't get off top of you for a Pegasus bite you in the ass. I don't want you making no jokes. Oh, take it on Uncle Tommy with a skirt. Skirt. My cousin Skeeter, this is 100% fucked up. So the original idea was to make my Uncle Tommy, Steve for American Dad, investigator, a corporate officer, and a mob boss. It was based off a documentary I had from Mr. Inner. The truth behind it was I was a big One Piece fan, and the main character Monkey D. Luffy can stretch, and very similar to how Luffy wears a straw hat, Uncle Tommy wears a top hat. And he dances like a Beastie Boy or breakdancer. His hits are really effective and practical. The only problem is he doesn't have superpower like everybody else, so he tricks everybody, do older tricks in the generation. This old crack a bottle on the head like Frieza. So the truth about Uncle Tommy Lily was he was based off how Uncle Tommy was a con artist. And the role and what happens in the movie is that he goes up to everybody, fooling everybody in the anime universe, trying to support the band Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, which is based off Majin Buu, Akira Toriyama's original intention. And Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is based off the Disney movie Cinderella. And Majin Buu actually took those characters. The whole point and concept was he was a part of this Barama film. It ended up happening when I got to the hood. I established something in the beginning. I took the hardest hit from him, so what happened was I was the best at the company. I danced with a girl named Yessie. My opponent, Xylon Livingstone, still watched Crypto the Superdog. And what ended up happening was this, literally. He comes up to me, dead like a normal person. He says, "Eric, stop talking to your imaginary people after I just got done having sex." I'm like, imaginary, like the chances of you not being wrong. I hit him with the 1-2 like boxing and down left, so my original mentality was, I'm getting at you, the people controlling him, not him. What fully happened in the hood was I waited for Tyler Perry producers to come. Do hot box, I'm like, I'm just gonna put these chicken nuggets in the oven, literally wait for this shit to happen. I didn't know he was gonna fuck me up when dead. I made sure it wasn't intellectual. I stress the people in the channel, lesbian cops every day. Grow up, Omar is Mexican. So in my comic book in the company, he was Master Roshi. Because he was mid-tier power level, and how I set up, the read before was there was a group of people called the Platinum Boys. What happened was, one of their names was Antonio. And I was a big mob boss at the time. Matter of fact, literally, I did one little test versus battle with my girl Ariella. No one could beat me in the company. I had her beat me real quick and have the Platinum Boys spy and be like, "Hey, there goes boss." At the end of the versus battle, she lifted up her blanket. I had Antonio fight my main girl Zero. Zero barely won, but Antonio sent a brain out from Freakazoid. Walking down, and Uncle Tommy was pissed, so I'm like, "Fuck you, white people." Stop, pimple, literally, the popping's been over. Coming at me, literally, like it's in the kettle. Like, fuck you. I play off intellect, ignore intellectual, that's all on you. The movie was big. Literally, there was a guy named Tantro who might have been, for my freshman year. My freshman year, I had a curly haircut. He has a checkerboard background. He was supposed to be in the movie, and also, Yugi Moto was supposed to be in the movie. The reason why I said is Tantro is a popular character, outside my knowledge and foundation. The echo right there, I'm the real Tandro. So in doing so, literally, I thought I'd put Uncle Tommy, Yugi Moto, and Tandro in the movie with a tuck dance I did in junior high called Tuck by a guy named Tyrone. What Tyrone did was literally, there was this girl named Dorada, right? She was a Middle Eastern, literally Gramanian, basically Indian where it came to skin tone. Tyrone started spanking her over and over again after he did a tuck. What happened was, Namrata eventually became my wife. She was my wife in the company, and there was a lot of things we read. Before he was dead, he knew he was man, Lily. It was a cheap Marvel comic. Lily just said, Smoothie, the voice actor Zane and Christopher Sabat. He could do anything, and his uncle Tommy could cut everything in half, and almost like Kirby. Or from that to him fucking me up every way, shape, or form. The point where I was just watching a cartoon when I used to work for one. Number 5 for the Kids Next Door, where I was doing, he was dead. Lily was. I was watching, Kids Next Door number 5, recognizing why her verse is connected to Bill Cosby, and using concept. Apple was, in the beginning, it was okay because I had the biggest hit on the radio. Me and my uncle are big fans of rap, and he does old school rap like a rope. Lily he does an R like Ryan. He said, hopped over a fence, and me, I'm like Fabulous. I'm like, duh, duh, duh. I be on stage. I made sure, as soon as I got to her group home, I be on stage. What happened was, Mary J. Blige, plastic surgery, literally how somebody can be dead and still moving based on blood. He literally did that with Mary J. Blige on stage, and she looked like she was hollow. After, me and him were in the company when one of my girls' mama seemed to be her. Bottom line, I was so good at the shit, literally, I had me and Eminem, since, we were both Crips. Him and Michael Jackson, literally, I had this whole thing, literally, I had a group, I'm gonna go row, row, row. So what happened was, I was filled with love in the beginning. Lesbian cops turned it into lust, literally connected it to my junior high, and everything that I did in junior high. Basically, the adult world. What ended up happening was not a lesson was being taught, but literally, the Adult Swim gag, flipped the pun. The only reason why other people are adults is due to lying and Deus Ex Machina, after fucking up twice as much in secret. In the beginning, literally was, I knew what I was doing, literally the plan worked, 100%. When I first got there, I instantly used his brother Cremo. Sonny is what we call him. And I started going off beside the group home. Started looking for a security guard. Started walking just like him, saying, hey, I'm the man. Take a girl, Lily, she be fine as fuck, Lily, I'll grab her, I'll be like, why are you so fucking dumb? Before we get into that, let's get into that actually land a hit. I'll put it like this, literally, I knew, in the original story, literally, when he was alive back then before he had the company, I asked him to a fight. What happened was, I knew ever since I gave it to NASA that, literally, you could stop the world, and use time, why I actually knew how to box correctly. In fact, I had a friend that recently used to, box with Fred Tut. It was so good, I knew, fights go only this way and that way, all the way to a point where I won a tournament. Like, I can't fuck with it now, because now you can stop time, literally say this, and that. Instead, you can't play off his original personality, but what they do is they put his Bopper Weave up against my gangster, and have him, enclose our statements by calling me a crackhead in the beginning. As it continued on, like I was hanging out with 4 black people every day, we were on BET. What happened when I got to your group home is the pastor dressed up as Santa Claus. What happened, as he continuously took me to a dollar store, was I paid attention to who was driving. That's it, and that hurt me literally at the car, I was 27. Basically happy, through my late 20s, I was so prepared for a car that literally I went to the arcade, beat my brother Christ, and every time, I drive down, literally, especially at the arcade, I eventually become number 1 or 2. I was so close to getting the car, it wasn't even funny, and plus I planned a whole lot in the studio, I left for everything but the signature. What happened was, literally, one of the days we went to the dollar store, he picked up a Reese's cup. Literally, he's like, you like that? Literally, I'm like, and that is Concept, because, Concept is playing off 2 things, so I was using Concept at a group home. They're wondering why they couldn't get aware of mental health. Reese's is, big. Understands that, but when it comes to actual electric things like me and Shannon, sexual dates and relationships, get this thing, I'll have things for my age, like, a car, or, a girlfriend on paper, while I'm street smart knowing that they're trifling. I'm supposed to have a whole wife. That's the thing I'm good at writing, and mental health doesn't fuck with writing. What happened over time, literally, is I got debt in the mail, literally, and I couldn't do shit. By 29, he was all like, we'll see who's obviously reading it red. But the most important part about me and the meat, it doesn't matter because I pushed principle, was me and my Uncle Sonny. I used Uncle Sonny constantly. I used his jokes in the military. So what happened was, I knew back then, literally, that Uncle Tommy used to be scared of Sonny. It's funny because me and him both took meditation. I came out Sonny was 3 Latinas. So this shit had me so fucked up, I didn't think Sonny was 20. What happened was, literally, I was looking at his replays, I used to always hit Tommy. Get this, literally, I remember, back then in Flow, he beat him. Sonny whooped his ass in Flow. So what happened was, literally, he would think like me, literally, he would go to work, over time would say something stupid, would lean back and he would tell a joke that's funnier, fell back on the point where he was relaxed. I'm like, I like Sonny, I think he's the best because he relaxed. He would say everything in the book, and Sonny's like, yeah, I'm just trying to work. I was just like him, and all I did was fiend for work at the group home. Got there, literally, I'm like, oh, if you put me in 2 words, literally, I'd ask this and that, I could bend the word like Garlic Jr. When I got there, it felt just like Garlic Jr. I was the best rapper on the radio, and the reason why this matters, the reason why, I don't take, manipulation in the fact, was because the beat by itself, literally, how any cop's influence, feel like they're fucking Sonny. Like, why is Sonny in the house? Oh, Cremo, where are you? He even admitted that I came at him like Cremo. And their reactions literally barred on bare minimum. When you're too old not to have a car, at a place where you have no right to call out what street or grown. An elaborate human being. I make films like Tyler Perry, and I was the most elaborate as possible. He condensed it down to intellect. He called himself Trozilla at times. I don't know if the guy, stayed in the fight. The thing about me and the meat is that they never stayed in the fight. But they state that I have issues. This character was so multi-dimensional. Steve from American Dad, Uncle stopped me that he was banned the universe, and for adults he was using top class Taekwondo, and it was funny. And in the movie Ant Holes, get this, I fused the movie ants from movie holes. Uncle Tommy was playing with sticks, it was hella funny. The guy that ants crawled up little butts of dominoes. Character is the most beloved in the series, literally. It was the most and the best example of the original momentum. Where I had music and my anime on the radio. The hood I barely survived, started watching shit like Apple Samurai. This is a voice in my head saying that I finally grew up or I knew it was connected to full disability. Tell you, the hood was tough because literally the whole time, literally, I viewed him as a dying leaf. Somebody who's in charge. This I only have Asperger's, not full-on autism on paper, and I do shit like Frylock. It was pain after pain because I couldn't do anything. The worst part I don't agree about, with the lesbian cups and everything was literally when you get the toaster oven, literally when he got this shit, he was scanning it back and forth, and, telling me that he worked hard. This is literally there's plastic on the toast, literally, you leave it on like a normal person. You called out the whole house dragged on, literally, with something leaking, literally, something broken you left, like a faucet or a whole shower door. It came to a toaster oven, literally, you left her bread, literally, on top of the toaster. They expected to be affected, literally, got melted, his bobble we've got away saying, yo, watch your food, man. It was like that every single day, he was hitting me like a fucking titan. Making an excuse, oh, see, one piece of animation is gonna be worse. I'm like, that's why I gave it tree. All that grown-ass man shit, girls with classical music, being able to do shit to be brought down, literally, little cousin's party, fucking ink literally on the toaster oven now, like a whole bunch of confetti, literally when you're over 30 years old, you're calling out the trick, hella skateboarding, fuck you. Don't do that with Asperger's and that's why your ass is on the grill.